We ready, ne? Rolling. Sanibonani bakwethu. It's Aba Ayalewa Mlak once again. Silo samanzi uzinyo lengwenye uboya bengwe. Heruseke mankamun. Nguchaya ingwe lo utukutu mandlana. Udla umvubu ukhipha ukete bakwethu seniyangazi. Kunini ngizazisa. Hawu. Angeke ngishintshe ngithi ngufervuti kusasa. Hori ngithi ngufernieleni. Ngisaseyilo umuntu ngiuye. Funny I should start today's conversation like that, because I want to speak about the importance of knowing the self, the importance of self-knowledge. Let me start off by saying, in the ancient mystery schools in Egypt, Yonkindao, but I'll quote Egypt for one. When you entered through the pores of the Sphinx, there was an inscription at the door, in hieroglyphics, of course. And you had to decipher that inscription before you were given access through the pores of the Sphinx into the subterranean chambers of the initiation school, which ultimately led to the pyramids. I'm not talking about that today. But there was a riddle. It's called the riddle of the Sphinx. What creature wakes up in the morning and walks on 4 legs? And when the sun is at its highest, it walks on 2 legs. And when the sun goes down, it walks on 3 legs. That's the riddle of the Sphinx. If you could answer that, you were given access to pass through the first door. As you went in through the first door, you would see the second inscription. And you had to decipher that and understand what that meant. This is what it read. Siha ek petu, siha ek neteru. Let's loosely translate it into English. Know thyself, and you shall know the universe and all gods. And then you had to go through the third door. In this third door, you would find the last inscription. With one question: who are you? Sibonile mosuta chaga notichala ewakanda. But ungubani? Angithi sibonile bakwethu. But ungubani? And then angit. Sibonile. There are 3 entrances into the mysteries. 1 is the riddle of the Sphinx. 2 is the statement of self-knowledge, the importance of self-knowledge. 3 is a question. Who then are you? Or what then is it? I won't say it in the Egyptian tongue because those are initiatic secrets. But loosely it says, put through. Asiyeke. Ithi ngayisho nizoye research ku internet uGoogle anibonisa imihlola. But then the question is, who then are you? What then is it? Who then are you? Put ra eref su. What then is it? Who then is it or are you? Put ra eref su. Go and research for yourself. And then after all your ordeals in the tunnels, the last door you are going to go through is going to ask you the same question. Putra erefsu. Who then are you? If you say the same thing you said at the first time, then your process did not go well. You are supposed to say something totally different when you get to the end. Angazi Mthembu ngisho. Ngayisho na. Hayi nangu noma Mthembu akavumi. Ithi ngayisho. But you can't be saying the same thing at the end of the journey that you said at the beginning. I'll give you an example without saying what I don't want to say. Angithi siyayazi leya movie leya Wanted. Wanted la bapenda ma bullet. You know that movie, Bend the Bullet? That movie is based on a secret order that works with textiles and material, how they weave the material. And in how they weave the material, that's where they keep the secret codes of who must be assassinated. Right? So the stitches tell the story. Now, Bend the Bullet. Lo mfana lo of this greatest assassin bebafuna ukumbulala. They recruited his son. And they made him believe that his father was killed by this assassin, only to find that this assassin is his father. They are actually trying to kill him because he found out a secret. Oguti now, the master of the order is manipulating the messages because it happened that the stitching spelled out his name. So he was supposed to have died long time ago. But now he's been manipulating and killing people of his own choice. So this man found out and he wanted to fight and rebel against the order. Now they recruit his son and they are teaching him to bend the bullet. Angithi sayikhumbula leyo movie Angelina Jolie lapha nale milebe yakhe le. Hawu Nkosi yami, hey le ntombi. Sekame phambi kwebullet inkocishe ngakhala lela lo mfana azodubula le ntombi ngithi eye ungabulala uNajuli wena. Ufuna ukubulala uNajuli? Hawu uNajuli Nkosi yami akabulawa. Niyazi leyo movie man. Yabhend ibullet ya round hey wasinda uNajuli kwathi inwele zakhe kwathi ngathi wena mfana bengiyokuzonda wena. Ubulala umfazi kaBrad Pitt umfowethu. Lalela-ke. When he was accepted into that order, he was beaten up for more than angazi ke movie ni ke bazothi it was a month or 3 weeks asazi, but he was beaten up for a long time. Bembuza one question, ebuzwa uyu uNajuli lo. Abanye bathi uNajuli, abanye bathi uMajuli. uNajuli ke embuza ukuthi who are you? Asho ukuthi hey mina ngubani bani uSibusiso, hey mina nguKelvin Klein, hey mina ngubani bani Versace. Hey, spark, 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 spark. Until he said, I don't know who I am. Ngiyakhumbula leyo move ngithi. Masekakhala ke athi I don't know who I am, but ayike iphelile ke ipunishment asakushayi. Because now we need a different identity here. We need a different person. Ngithe ngizokhuluma ngaleya ngingakhulumanga ngayo, ngikhulume ngemovie. So ningathi ngikhulumile, ngikhulume nge-Wanted movie. Now once you get to the other side, the same question is going to be asked to you. Put ra eref su, for those who thought I was making up words. What then is it? Who then are you? Based on your answer at that door, you are either going to get out of the tunnel and go home, or get out of the tunnel into another one, into the pyramids, where now you are going to be elevated on the 3 levels of your personality, which is what I want to get into now. Remember, we are talking about the self. First question, what walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, 3 legs in the afternoon? Remember that question, the riddle of the Sphinx. Next, I asked you, siha ek petu, siha ek neteru. Know thyself, and you shall know the universe and all gods. Next, there was a question, putra erefsu. What then is it? Who then are you? And you get the same question at the other door. So you get 3 questions. Now you are about to enter into the 3 answers. You are about to enter the prince's chamber, the king's chamber, and the queen's chamber. The 3 chambers, central chambers in the flute inside the pyramid. The central pillar of the pyramid that is at 90 degrees from each side of the 45-degree tilt. Okay. What does geometry have to do with this? If you are standing upright, if I'm sitting here upright, I am 90 degrees to this side, to the flat surface of the earth. Yini perpendicular or verticular or yini horizontal yinle bayibizana. Perpendicular, horizontal.
You are perpendicular to the floor right now.
Nakho ke isilungu ke. Me, I'm perpendicular to the floor, to the horizontal plane, right? So my vertical stance to the horizontal plane of the flat surface renders me at a 90-degree angle. So from the top of my head to the floor, at the furthest point to the extremity, is a 45-degree angle to compensate this 90-degree. Because that angle plus this angle plus this angle plus that angle must all come back to complement each other to an 180-degree. That's mathematics, it's not me. So if there's 90 degrees on my right-hand side, there's 90 degrees on my left-hand side, that is 180 degrees. Therefore, at the far extremity must be, and the far extremity must be half of that which I am. Angit, that's just basic geometry. So when they ask you that question, La Paya, geometrically in the pyramid, this is why I said the central pillar that is at 45 degrees slanted, 90-degree perpendicular to the horizontal vertical. Hey! Niyayazi science bagwethu angeke nifundiswe yimi. Angina metric mina. Now, in that process, in that central pillar of the prince, the king, and the queen, or the king, the queen, and the cap, depending on how you want to say it, The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit for those Christians. And for those who are against Christianity, is the Father, the Mother, and the child. And for those who don't believe in a triune concept, it's your mind, your body, and your soul. And if you don't believe in that, it's your forethought, thought, and your afterthought in psychological terms. Premonitions, visions, and postmonitions. Ngizolibhala lelo gama ku-dictionary malingekho. Is after I had a vision. Ngibone after ngibonile. So if ayikho i-postmonition, ibhaleke namhlanje, I'm creating another word. Postmonition. Angithi kune premonition. Postmonition. Kune premonition. Postmonition. Le ephakathi nendawo sothi monition. Ningangibuzi ke ngiyena umlungu mina bakwethu. But everything happens in these three stages. One of these three stages is your personal ego. The other stage is your perceptional ego. And the other one is your true self ego, your divine ego. Psychology will tell you that you have the self that you show to people, your outer self that you are showing to people, your mask. What you're projecting to people in the public, what you want people to know you as a good guy. So that's why every time you meet someone else, but Uban Banyazi is a good guy. Uti, I've heard that before. Yeah, because that's what you're projecting to people. That's what you want people to see. And that's why you are frustrated when people don't recognize you and give you accolades for what you're acting out. Right? You are like Sylvester Stallone, Upali movie, wa actor, and then he didn't get an Oscar award. Uba frustrated ke manje. Kanye West wasukume stage. What ya uba Beyonce, Taylor Swift your Tony Award. What ya but uba had a better music video. Because now you are not getting public admonition or public admiration for your effort, right? That's your personal ego. That's what you want us to see. That's not who you truly are. That's not what you truly are. Because maungena into your close circle of friends, you have your intimate self. The one that you are able to open up to somebody else. You're not acting now. You're not pretending now. You're with your friend. So this is your private self. You are with your partner. You are with your parents. You are with the person who party, choose macala, PFF. Konji benza njani? Yenzo njani lento? Laba. Upesti. Yeah, yona leo niyayazi. Abo the other half of this yako. Abo pesti. That's your private self. And then after that, you have your secret self. The one that even your partner does not know about. Your partner doesn't know ukuthi emsebenzini wena mawuthatha ibreak uzivalele toilet ubukele iporn angithi. Your partner doesn't know that. That's your secret self. Your friends don't know ukuthi wena mawufika ekhaya usha umfazi. That's your secret self. Your parents don't know ukuthi yebo unomfazi but you built another house for ukidiboni. Even your partner doesn't know that. Even your friends don't know that. That's your secret self. So every one of us has these three selves we need to be dealing with. Your public self, your private self, and your secret self. And all these selves are created. They are not who you truly are. Because you are not happy about your secret self, this is why you keep it a secret. You are not happy about your private self, that's why you only share it with those you think you can trust. You're definitely not happy with your public self because you wouldn't be acting to start with. The importance of self. Who are you? I've got 5 questions to ask. Where do I come from? Why am I here? What am I here to do? Who am I? And where am I going from here? These are the 5 existential questions we need to ask ourselves. Where do we come from? For those who believe in the Bible, you will say we come from God, we come from heaven. We're tiny little angels with wings that are not fully developed, so we had to come to the earth first to develop our angelness. You can believe that if you want to. You can believe that you came from the masturbation of Atum. That Atum masturbated standing on a mountain and he mixed his spermatozoa with the ground and humans spawned out of it. You can believe that. You can believe that you came from the word of Jehovah who spoke and it was so. You can believe that. You can believe that the natural origin of man is man. You came from the sexual intercourse of your mother and your father. You can also believe that, which I tend to believe in. That's a more effect than anything else. But it's your choice. You can believe that you came in a stock, a big bird that carried you from the shops, Sama China. You can believe that. You can believe that your parents bought you Mhlangeni and you came down in a zip line. You can believe that. But all of that will answer the question, where do I come from? Yay! Hey. Ngiyazi omunye uzothi bathini amadlozi bathi wena ubuza kakhulu. You can believe in all of these things, and all of these are attempts to try and answer where we come from. This is where mythology becomes now an important part of our community. We are trying to describe and symbolize and represent through imagery the origins of man. This is why every nation in the world has a story of origin. Every single nation in the world has a story of creation. Every single nation in the world narrates how they think existence came into existence, from pre-existence to post-existence, from secrecy to openness. We all have a similar pattern that we are following. I'm going to give you an example. The Big Bang Theory says, in the vastness of the void of empty space, 2 particles drawn to each other by a gravitational pull suddenly collided in the middle of a void. And the ripple effect of their collision created an explosion, and fire came out of that. And from that fire, sound, boof, and then vibration, reverberation, and expansion happened. Billion years later, I'm sitting here in front of a camera telling you how the scientists think the world started. Omunye uthi yena, there was nothing, there was a void, an empty space. And from nothing, a voice came out, let there be. And then things started happening. I'm hearing the same vibration, friction, movement. From Genesis, the vastness of nothingness and the void of space and time, and the Spirit of God moving on the waters, 2 particles vibrating upon each other, and a voice came out, an explosion based on a friction from a vibration. It's the same thing we're talking about. Okay, let's leave the Bible because the Bible must burn on it. Let's leave the Bible. Let's go to Egypt. There was the vastness and the emptiness of Nun, the great primeval ocean. And out of this primeval ocean, Ma'at started to move, order, out of the chaos. And out of that order, the Ta'atanen came forth, a mound, a sacred mound, where Ptah stood up and spoke existence into existence. He spoke the sun into existence. He spoke the moon into existence. He spoke the earth. He spoke the rivers. He spoke the gods into existence. if you're going to follow the Membere or the Mbekara or Mbekore or the Membe, the Memphite theology, if you're going to follow there's the Memphite theology, there's the Thebian theology. If you're going to follow the Thebian theology, it all started with Atum, the hidden one, the great one, who masturbated everything into the world, and Kunshu sat on his spinning wheel and molded humanity into existence. But it still follows the same principles. If you go to the Heliopolitan, the Anunite or the Anu theology, everything started with Amun and Ra, and we are all speaking the same things. Science, mythology, religion, philosophy, culture, tradition. These are all human expressions of the origins that none of them were present to witness. It's all deductions, intellectual deductions. Hence mythology, my theology. Mythology is my theology. It's how my people view things. And your people don't have to view it like that. Where do I come from? That's the first. Mythologies. Let us study our mythologies and see how they connect and see the similarities between them. What is the difference and what is the similarities between the Titans and the Elohim? What is the collaboration between the Asgardians and the Beni Elohim? What is the connection between Oludumara and Thor? What is the similarities between Usimagate and Atlas? Because Usimagate stands forever holding the world up, and Atlas is holding the world up forever. So how about we find the similarities to the question where we come from? And then we can get to the next question. Why are we here? We are here to expand, experience, evolve, and commune. Because in the spirit, if you believe in God, and if you maybe perhaps believe in the spirit, and if you maybe perhaps believe in the consciousness, and if maybe you believe in Idlozi, and you believe in whatever universal alignment, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe in, why are we here? I'm saying we are here to experience, to evolve, to be inclusive. Because in the spirit world, we are not individuals. In the spirit world, duality does not exist. In the spirit world, separation does not exist. Multiplicity does not exist. In the spirit world, everything is one. God is all in all. There's only one existence. And that existence is what you call spirit, what you call God, what you call consciousness, what you call energy, what you call universe, what you call whatever you want to call it. There's only one reality that is outside of our multiplicity. In the spirit, there's only one reality. We have multiple experiences in the world in order for us to evolve. We are all here to gather experience and knowledge and data, footage, content, if you may, for the universal consciousness which we call God, for the Akashic records, the great universal library of human experience. I one day will die. And I one day will be separated from the spirit which animates my body. And that spirit will return to the one universal singularity, while my body will be dissolved in the universal singularity which is called the physical world. The only thing that will render me immortal is your storage space on your phone. Delete my video on back way to YouTube. Jokes aside, the only thing that will last of me is my memory, my impact, my words, my actions, my deeds, and what people think about me, and how I impacted people around me. That's the immortality of who we are. As Bonabo Tanken Matlaut Bagwetu, we won't live forever. There can be only one. Aye. Ushilo Chetli move the one. But I'm nobody's bitch. There can be only one. No, there is only one. And that one is the universal consciousness we prefer to call God. We are all here just trying to have different experiences in order to evolve, in order to grow into an awareness of our source. We are all little gods who have forgotten who we are. This is why we are here, to remember. Remember how many good deeds you did to the next person and actually changed that person's life. And then remember how many bad deeds you did to the other person and you actually changed that person's life. People don't trust anymore because of what you did to that one person. People love more than they have to because of what you did to that one person. Whatever our actions, whatever our interactions, whatever our societal standards are, affect our perceptions of reality. This is why we are here. We are here to make the world a better place for all of us so that when we return, we take back a memory of everlastingness to the Akashic records, to the universal library of a human experience. Because we are going to come back. I'm not talking reincarnation here. I'm talking about perpetual existence. Energy can never be destroyed nor created. It just changes form. So where do you think you go after you die? This YOLO bullshit, you only live once, that's nonsense. Live fast and die young. Have a beautiful corpse, it doesn't work like that. Where do you think that energy is going to go? It's going to come back. It has to. It exists in this realm. So what are we here to do? Where we come from? We come from whatever your myth tells you come from. If your myth says you come from an egg that was carried on the back of a tortoise, believe that. Don't question it. Understand what the tortoise means. If you count the scales on the tortoise's back, you'll find the whole calendar of 6 days, 13 months, and 24 hours on the back of the turtle. So where do we come from? We come from time immemorial. And this tortoise carried a big egg, the cosmic egg, the universal egg. So we all come from fallopian tubes. You all come from an egg, an ovary, and it carried by a turtle. And that turtle was moving on the back of a snake, a big serpent. Cishe ngakhulumisa into bakwethu simasendo oyihlo angithi sonke so masendo baba bethu sonke. And the turtle that pushes his head in, iphindi chopel, iphindi vel, iphindi chopel. Is that not how we were all created? All right. So whatever mythologies you heard about where you come from, that is where you come from. You come from the sexual intercourse of your parents. Now, angeke sitshela abantwana abana 15 years ukuthi hey, saphepha namntanami ukuthi ube khona. We have to find a respectful way to put it. So we talk about turtles, we talk about snakes, we talk about oceans and. That's myth. But there's a reality behind the myth. Don't dismiss myth because you don't understand the symbolism. You are just exposing your own stupidity and lack of intellectual capacity. Mental acrobatics. You are lazy to think. You can't dismiss the Bible because you don't understand the symbolism. You can't dismiss the Bhagavad Gita because you don't understand the symbolism. You can't dismiss the sutras because you don't understand the symbolism. You can't dismiss the Pertem Hru because you don't understand the symbolism. That's narrow-mindedness. You'll never find who you are because you are a human having a human experience as much as Changling is human having a Changling experience in China. As much Linwood is having a British experience in Europe. As much as David Copperfield is having his American experience, it's all human experience. Why are we here? To experience, to evolve, and to return data and knowledge to the central library of human experience. Who are we? Who are you? No, my name is Thabang Mokoena. No, that's the name you were given at birth, and that's the family name you found on earth. How? Ngaraima. That's the name you were given at birth. That's the family name that you found on earth. Shayi beating 16 passing limazela bantu. Do you understand what I'm saying? Utebucho is the name you were given when you came to this earth, when you at birth. Umukwena is the family name you found already here, pre-existed you on this earth. So that's not who you are. Who are you? And then no, I'm a lawyer, hey, I'm a director, I am an actor, I am a in. No, that's what you do. Who are you? No, my friends call me Speech Omsi, they call me Spanel Tetini, they call me Njaya Matambo, Mkotoiga Satane. Yeah, that's what your friends call you. That's perception of other people about you. Who are you? And you will discover that's the hardest question that people have ever been forced to answer. Who are you? Because who you are is a creation. Maybe it's a collage, a collage with different pictures to make one picture. A collage. What you think you are is a collage of all your role models, all your fuck-ups, all those who've disappointed you, your parents, your school teachers, namamaika yehla, your skuluma. Everything is an amalgamation of who you think you are. No, it's fine. Push away him. Yeah. Everything you think that you are is a cut and paste of everything that you've experienced along your way. Awuzelwe uyipantsula bafo. Jimbos, mkakati. Tine Pitori sitiki mkakati. Awuzelwe umkakati. Uzelwe uthabo nonyane. Hawuthiza madoda. Rest in peace out yam. Uzelwe uthabo nonyane. And then wabona uBragibs. Nama Brentuti, nama Floshemu, nanani, nama Silky, nama Gold. Wabona kahle ukuthi yo. This is who I want to become. And then you started to create a persona. And then uThabo Nonyane, stop being Thabo Nonyane, waba umthizozo. Uthiza. That's not who you are. You were never Thabo Nonyane to start with. Where's manje so uthiza? And then manje uthiza estrateni. Esikolweni teacher's pet wena good boy. So esikolweni waziwa ngufundekile. Mina ngikwazela esikolweni ngiyekasi lakho one day ngiyofuna ufundekile wakwaNonyane. Akaziwa kwaziwa uThizozo indoda egwaza nayo. So we develop split and multiple personalities until we develop a disease, a disorder that ama-psychologists bazokutshela ukuthi dissociative disorder. Dissociative personality disorder. Ngoba manje, along the way you forget who you are. Along the way, you disassociate with your true self. Along the way, you start to associate yourself with all these things that you created in your own mind to fit into a narrative of friends, of community, of school, of fashion, of fame, whatever space you find yourself in. To fit that narrative. Safika marasteni, sasforced ukufaka ama-red, gold and green nkosi yami head to toe. Ngoba manje amakhala wamarasta and manje wena understand ngoba i-red, gold and green ePitori la ubuya khona ikubhekisa ngamaphoyisa. But ngoba uyirasta, you have to go through that struggle. Yeah, I we struggle. Awuthi amsusa i-red, gold and green, uqoqa ama-dreads wakho, ugcoke kahle, ube muhle, ubone le phoyisa elizokuhlupha estradini likubize ngonsangweni. That's all I'm trying to say. We started to personify these concepts based on narratives of communities we found ourselves in, and we lost who we are. Today, when you ask a person, Uban, I nagimu Luther, I mean I'm Methodist, I mean I'm China, I mean China, oh, let's go back. Yeah, indaba ngikhule ngenza ikarati mina. Okay, so that makes you China. So if you stand in a carport for 10 years, you are suddenly a car. Awusase umuntu ngoba wena uhlala phansi kwe-carport. Sekumele sibize umsizi ngemoto manje. Now, who are you? Self, knowledge of self. That's important. If you ask yourself this question deep enough and far enough, you will come to one conclusion. You are a spirit who has no name, who has never had a name, who can never have a name, who is unseen, unseeable, unknown, unknowable. You're a spirit having a human experience. That's who you are. You are God in human flesh. Think about that for a moment. That's why you can create, but that's why you can destroy. That's why you can build, but that's why you can tear down. That's why you can love, but also that's why you can hate. That's why you can tell the truth, but also that's why you can lie. That's why you can cooperate, or you can not cooperate. That's why you can be selfish. That's why you can be selfless. That's why you can be confident. That's why you can be not confident. Because you are God having a human experience. God who has no name, who can't have a name, who has never been seen, who can't be seen, unknown and unknowable. That leads you to the fourth question. What am I here to do then? Remember, first question was, where do I come from? And I said we come from the mythological vagina in penis. Straightforward. Right? What did we come here to do? We came here to experience, evolve, and grow and return data and knowledge and information back to the central library of human experience. Who are we? We are God having a human experience. We are spirits having a physical experience. That's what we are. Then what is our purpose here? Our purpose here is to connect the past and the future in order to continue with the song of life. We are just bridges. We are just coincidences in incidences that happen to collide. Past, one incident. Present, another incident. And they collide with us, the coincidence. There is no coincidence without us. Coins don't dance. So it's only happening now because we are here. We are going to determine what do we take from the past and what we leave for the future. We are the coincidence. And where do we go from here? Let's not be delusional. Whether ukwenyu Jesu, whether you guqa phansi 5 times a day, you believe in Allah, whether we Rasta upeminsa nguJamani, whether we Hindu and now Hari 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 Krishna, whatever you do, sonke sofa. We will all die. And I'm not being morbid. I'm not being morbid here. I'm not being negative here. It's a reality bagwethu. We are not going to exist in this present form forever. This body iyakhathala. Sizofa, dead, and we will be buried. So where are we going from here? Hey, siyebuya bathu bagwethu la bantu bayakhona. Awubofuna siyephi? We are not going to Atlantis or to the world beyond the ice wall. We are not going there. We are going to the graves, is over. But our spirits are returning to the singularity, as I said. Our spirits are returning to the singularity. And it is our name. Basho abantu bakithi bathi kuhamba madoda kusalibongo. Sahamba insizwa kwasalibongo madoda. The only thing that's going to be left behind is our memory of you. Make sure it's a beautiful memory. I want to remember the best of you. Who are you? The importance of self-knowledge. A lot of us confuse ourselves with ideals. Ubuza umuntu ukuthi, okay, tell me about yourself. Umuntu akutshele about what they wish to see themselves as in the future. And then you can see ukuthi when you are still dealing with a level of deception. Self-deception. And that's the worst type of deception anyone can deal with. Deceiving yourself is the worst thing you can do. So you have a problem right now. How did we get to this problem? No. How did we get to the problem? Ungubani wena kule ngxaki? How did you contribute so that we can pull you out of it? But now if you're going to tell me what you wish to become after the problem is solved, Nana, we are still in the problem. Askaphumi. Asikhulume ngayo kuqala. Songitshela ngeyifiso wena, hayi ngifisa ingathi sila manje. Let's deal with it now. Self-knowledge. And self-knowledge bagwethu is not written in any book. You are not going to get it from me. It's self-knowledge. A lot of us are afraid to spend time alone because the noise is too much. And that noise is the questions that the self asks you. When you made that decision, what were you hoping to achieve? And those are the questions we cannot answer ourselves. Can you? Can you? Can you? That's the hardest question you have to answer. What were you thinking? Ungazimshayela empama ukuthi ungibuzelani lento le mase kakubuza ukuthi bocabangani. Because it's hard to answer that question for yourself. Let's take a step back and really look into who we are. Mind, body, and soul. The importance of knowing the self bagwethu is paramount to the journey of self-discovery, because a lot of us are on a journey and we are basing our journey's experiences on people's experiences. It's called vicarious experiencing, vicarious living. So omunye uzofuna ukuba nangu uTembela, he's sacrificed years of his life, uhlala nami ulandela mina uthi he's my student, and he's not living his life, ubhizi ulandelana no-aba ayalewu la ayakhona. At the end of the day, he wasted his time. He lived my life. So let us not base our lives on the next person. And I'm not saying Shemungo Lanyama wenza lokho. I was making an example. I'm saying, see a teacher for what a teacher is. Accept and acknowledge a master for what a master is. But don't forget that you are the master of your own destiny. Siya ek petu, siya ek neteru. Men, know thyself, and you shall know the universe and all gods. Blessed Lord, give thanks.